When it comes to bad behavior, the cover-up is generally worse than the crime. But in professional baseball, the cover-up is key. Some rules that are so routinely broken that all anyone really cares about is that you cover your tracks. That's a lesson Yankees pitcher Michael Pineda learned the hard way last night at Fenway Park.
He's gone. He's been ejected.
Yankees starting pitcher Michael Pineda was sent packing in the second inning last night for using pine tar to get a better grip on the ball on a cold April night.
You can't command that breaking ball if you can't feel those seams.
After the game, Pineda copped to the crime.
Was it pine tar?
Yeah, it's pine tar.
He now faces a 10-game suspension. Meanwhile, the Sox, who beat the Yankees 5-1 last night, didn't seem fazed by the incident.
Every pitcher does it. You just can't blatantly have it out there showing.
Put it on your hat, put it on your pants, put it on your belt, put it on your glove, whatever you got to do. But at some point, you just can't do it that blatantly.
This isn't Pineda's first pine tar incident. Back on April 10th, there was a suspicious smear spotted on his hand. The Sox let that one slide. But those days are over.
Now, each and every time these two teams play going forward, you're going to have one side checking the other.
And you can bet all of Red Sox Nation will also be on the lookout. So where should using pine tar register on the outrage meter? Chris Collins is a former anchor at Comcast Sportsnet. Welcome back, Chris, to you.
Good to be here.
Chris, so exactly what rule is it that he broke here?
Well, you can't use pine tar. I mean, there's things that you can use, like rosin, to get a grip on the baseball. But pine tar has been illegal as far as the pitchers use. The batters can use it on their bats. But, again, it's not really about it being illegal because the guys mentioned it very clearly. Well, we got guys in our clubhouse who use pine tar, as does probably every Major League Baseball team. It was just a blatant disregard for the rule being in place.
I
mean, we
wait,
saw
that's what
it just a month ago. It's hysterical.
These guys are all saying you can't be blatant. You just used that term, too. What do you mean you can't be blatant? You can't use it.
Welcome to the world of baseball. No, you can use it. You just can't use it in front of everybody. You can't blatantly say, you know what, I'm cheating. And then that's what baseball's always been about. You just can't tell people that you're cheating. Gaylord Perry was the master of the spitball. He had it everywhere. But again, it was hidden. It was concealed. So now you're like, well, why didn't John Farrell go out in the April 10th game and call him on it when it was so obvious? Well, he didn't call him on it because a lot of his guys are doing it.
All right,
he doesn't want to be called on.
Let's bring Saul Wisnia into the conversation. He's a sports blogger and author of the forthcoming book, Miracle at Fenway. Welcome, Saul. So what else they do in spitball? There's also this thing that Clay Buchholz rubs his hand in his greasy hair and then uses that on the ball. I mean, is that legal?
It's kind of under the same thing. It's probably something like pine tar or Vaseline, but it's this unwritten thing where guys can do it, but as Chris said, you try to conceal it. It's like emery boards. Remember that time Joe Negro, the emery board fell out of his pocket when he said he didn't have anything. Until then, it was okay. Gaylord Perry under his cap. The catchers have it on their shin guards. They give it to their pitchers. But especially after the April 10th game, for him to come back and do it so blatantly against the Red Sox, I'm just wondering why somebody in the dugout, when he put it on after the first inning, didn't say to him, hey, buddy.
Because you're using the same term. I mean, the New York papers had a field day with this today. But, I mean, it's either illegal or it's not. And you're both essentially saying it's not.
No, it is illegal from the way the law is written. It is illegal. But again, it's one of those laws that is not enforced unless you make baseball enforce it. Listen, the April 10th game, he was basically on probation because there was so much news because of this incident where he had all this stuff, all this goop all over his glove, and he was like, well, no, I don't know what you're talking about.
That's against the same team, too. I mean, it's like in the face of the Red Sox.
I mean, it's all over his neck. You see Ortiz come out of the clubhouse.
What was it on his neck for, by the way?
Well, it's just another place to put it. I mean, you can't say he was hiding it, but again, it was right on television. You see Ortiz come out of the clubhouse. Clearly, he was watching TV. He whispers into Farrell's ear. Farrell goes out. And Farrell wouldn't have gone out if there wasn't the April 10th game. He has no choice at this point. He answered questions for 2 or 3 straight days on why didn't you go out? I mean, he clearly had pine tar. Why didn't you do something about it? So he had no choice but to go out on this occasion.
Okay, but so, I mean, some people are arguing, look, this is a safety issue. On a cold night, last night was wicked cold in Fenway. It was in the 40s plus wind. They're saying it's a safety issue, so you're not going to get wild pitches. Could you make that argument or no?
I don't know. I think some people make the argument that if you have too much of this stuff, you can lose control of the ball. I mean, you can make that argument both ways.
Yeah.
I think what Chris was saying about the fact that everyone knows that people are doing it. It's kind of like that phantom play at second base, right? The runner slides in, the second baseman
in the neighborhood.
You're in the neighborhood, right? Shortstop, but second baseman doesn't really have to tag the bag.
Yeah.
It's kind of one of these things that goes back generations in baseball. Same thing with doctoring up the ball.
They're cracking down on that one too, though.
They are to some degree, exactly. Well, now with the umpires being able to look at instant replay, Farrell actually questioned that early this season, a play at second base. But this is just so blatant.
Sure.
Is anybody going to get thrown out tonight?
They're mocking baseball.
Exactly.
He was mocking baseball. Yeah. But, I mean, the in-the-neighborhood play really is there for safety. It's there so there's not as much contact between guys with spikes up high and the second baseman or the shortstop turning a double play. But this, I mean, come on. I mean, guys have played in cold weather forever, or 110-degree weather forever, and have thrown the baseball without beaning people and having control of it. And the rosin is certainly effective enough to get the proper grip.
I would think the rosin would work
grip.
Just as well. So was the 10-game suspension justified? Do you think it was a little tough?
No, I think it's justified because
one game for him.
Two games.
2 games. Yeah, 2 starts.
5 days.
I mean, they've got to make a statement because baseball is already losing popularity every year to football, and trying to win new fans and win back old fans, they have people to take it seriously.
People are going to tune in by the gazillions tonight to see who's using it.
Tar Wars.
This was help.
Daily News.
Albert Pujols, one of the greatest hitters of our time, hits home run number 500 just a couple days ago. Yeah. Not nearly the attention of Target.
I don't need like who?
So, there you go. But you know who Pineda is, don't you?
Yeah, I do. Absolutely.
But the nice thing is this is gonna maybe give the Yankees-Red Sox rivalry a little more of a kick in the pants, kind of like 2004. I mean, that's I just finished writing a book about that, and that year was really infused by that A-Rod Veritek fight,
sure.
And then at the end of the year by the play where A-Rod knocked the ball out of whose hand was it? Bronson Arroyo's hand at first base, and everyone was putting a purse on his arm on the line. So maybe this will really inspire a new war.
I'll be watching tonight with my binoculars. Chris Collins, Saul Wisnia, thanks so much.